G'day guys, welcome to the channel. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. We now have a join button on our channel, so if you would like to become a part of the IFR mod squad, it is greatly appreciated. We also have a Patreon. If the join button is not for you, the links will be in the description.
G'day guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have a build inside the Corsair Carbide 678C, a really cool water cooling case that we found, and we got to use all of the new Corsair Hydro X series water cooling gear. Firstly, I'd like to say a big thank you for Nvidia for providing the GPU. We've got Asus with the motherboard, and of course Corsair with all of the water cooling gear and the hardware and the case. So the aim of this build was to create a display PC for PAX Australia. This will be at the Corsair booth at PAX Australia 2019. That is October that will be happening, so I hope to see some of you guys there. In terms of customization, we didn't really do too much. The brief was a nice clean custom water-cooled PC. However, we did make that custom plate on the side there, which is actually holding the reservoir in place. That also doubled up to sort of hide all the holes that were in the case by default. Another custom thing that we did is we wanted to add as much white into the build as we could, so we ended up taking a piece of acrylic, engraving the Hydro X logo onto it, just like the original backplate, except have it in white instead of black. So that's what we did. We put it on the Nvidia GeForce RTX 2080 Ti graphics card, which was kindly provided by Nvidia, as I said. So this PC is going to be able to run the latest games with no problems. For some more custom work, we also decided to paint some of the shrouds on the Asus motherboard that Asus kindly provided. This motherboard we're actually going to use in our personal build as well after this has been at the PAX event. We also have some custom sleeve cables. These are cable mod cables with the white cable combs. That's actually all we really had left. Unfortunate that we didn't have another 8-pin because I did want to put the two 8-pins in the motherboard, but we only had one. And this system, it's only going to be on idle anyway on display, so there's no need for two. It's not like we're doing serious overclocking or anything with this system. It's going to be pulled apart eventually. For the CPU, our spare CPU we had was a 9900X, and that's what we put inside the system. As I said, it's just going to be a display PC. 9900X is still a great CPU. It's got lots of cores and threads for multi-threaded workloads and tasks. Also a good gaming CPU, especially paired up with the 2080 Ti, as the graphics card is the thing that's going to be the major influence on gaming performance. And for the power supply, we had the RM 850 watt power supply supplied by Corsair. Now this is the white version, obviously, to go with the theme, even though it is hidden, but still it's good to have all white components. And for the fans, we have the Corsair ML120 Pro RGB fans. They're all set to white and hooked up to the Commander Pro. RAM, we have 32 gigabytes of the Vengeance Pro in white, again to suit the theme, and all of the LEDs are set to white as well. In terms of performance, so we are sitting here on idle. I believe it's about 30 degrees, 31 degrees. It does go up and down. Ambient temperature in the room is about 26 degrees, so that's pretty good for an idle system. You can actually see the temperature on the motherboard there. It's got a nice reader on the LED display there. And we actually did crank this up in Prime 95, got all of the cores and threads up to 100% workload, ended up going to about 50 to 52 degrees. So I think that's pretty good performance from the Corsair Hydro X series water cooling. I would like to do more performance tests on it in the future. However, we have limited amount of time to actually test this stuff and get all of our PCs ready for PAX. So that will be coming in the future. Now, in terms of the Hydro X series, so the radiators are from Hardware Labs. We know that they are really good performance, actually some of the best out there. So performance-wise, the radiator's really good. The fin density is really good, and I guess for such high fin density radiators, all you have to be careful of is choosing the right fans. They need high static pressure, so they are able to push the air through those dense fins. Speaking of dense fins, the CPU block has really dense fins. There's a lot of fins in there, which means that it's able to take the heat out more efficiently as long as there is good flow rate. Now, of course, this pump is more than capable of providing that good flow rate, so you are seeing really good performances. The pump and reservoir, it does its job. It's not going to really affect performance. I mean, the pump, it's the same as any other pump that's out in the market. It does its job, has good flow rate. Reservoir, that's just a tank to hold the liquid, so there's not really much to say about that. I guess it just depends on whether you like the look of it or not. Now, this is all injection molded, I believe it is, but so the reason Corsair decided to go down this line is because I believe that they were worried about, like when you over tighten fittings in acrylic, there is a lot of stress cracks and things that, you know, can happen. So I believe that they went down this route to try and prevent user error. And personally, I like the components, but it feels a tiny bit cheaper than, say, an acrylic reservoir. And when I was looking at the reservoir itself, it looks like it's going to be a lot harder to take that thing apart to clean it when compared to a circular tube reservoir where you just unscrew the top cap and you've got access. Whereas this isn't completely circular, so you're not going to be unscrewing it. There's going to be other methods of getting into there, if you can get into there. I haven't personally tried it yet. It is something that eventually I am going to have to do. So I'll have to make an updated video on that. Now the fittings, they are from BitsPower, and BitsPower basically are my favorite water cooling brand in terms of fittings. So now Corsair is also one of my favorite water cooling brands in terms of fittings. I think BitsPower has the highest sort of premium feel in terms of fittings and looks. I love the looks of the BitsPower fittings. 100%, and Corsair are getting their fittings from BitsPower. So Corsair are going to be the new best looking fittings as well. The GPU water block, I really love. It has a nice clean design. Thank you for sticking with neutral color schemes. Just blacks, whites or grays is perfect. I do like that they left the center bit clear so you can see the fins and the water flow and everything like that. Again, with the GPU block, the fins are nice and dense, so it is taking out that heat much more efficiently. And the water block is nickel plated, so I prefer that nickel plated look with, especially with like a white build. If I was going for a more copper build, then obviously it wouldn't suit more, but it is facing upside down anyway, so you're not really gonna tell the difference. And for the case, the Corsair 678C, really good water cool friendly case. Now you can fit a 420mm radiator up top. We managed to put a 360 up the top because that's what comes with the kit. And then we had a 240 that came with the kit. However, we can fit a 360 and possibly a 420. I need to double check that, but I know a 360 will fit in the front as well. We only had that 240, so we fit a 240 in there. Now the 360 will be good for supplying a bit of airflow for the hard drives, which are down in the bottom cages there. We only have an SSD in here because this is a display system, so it's not really vital for that. Cable management in this system was quite a breeze. There is plenty of room at the back. You have a thicker space at this side where the, just behind the reservoir there, and by me putting that plate in there, it's also given me a lot more room to hide cables and everything like that. And then of course we do have the power supply shroud, which you can shove cables under as well. There are plenty of mounting holes for zip tying all your cables to. And all of the panels actually have sound dampening foam attached to it, so it's a really quiet system, and I can barely hear it as it is. So really good fans on that part, not creating a lot of noise. And then of course, when you've got them synced up to the Corsair iQ software, you've got full control over the whole system. So in summary, I think Corsair have done a really good job at providing a top high-end water cooling kit. As I said before, I prefer the look and feel of something that is acrylic. It feels a lot more premium than injection molding. It's like, it feels more plasticky, and but that's not a loss in performance. So if you don't care about the feel of it and you just want to look at it in the system, it looks fantastic. But when you feel it, it does feel a tiny bit cheaper than the acrylic versions. Anyway guys, that is my video on the Corsair Hydro X series. Thank you very much to Nvidia for supplying the 2080 Ti. Much appreciated. Asus for the motherboard, and of course Corsair for all of the water cooling gear and all of the hardware components from Corsair as well, and the case. Thanks for watching guys. I'll leave all parts down in the description. They are Amazon affiliate links. And if you like this video, consider hitting that like button, consider subscribing, check out more videos on the channel, leave your comments down below, consider becoming a Patreon as well if you would like to help support the channel. And if Patreon's not for you, then we also have the join button, which you can join to become a channel member and get some cool little perks. Anyway guys, we'll see you all in the next one.